Genevieve Collins is the State Director for Americans for Prosperity Texas and former candidate for Congress.
Thrilled to be here, excited to share that diversity of thought is incredibly important in my world in politics. Excited to share whatever I know to help you.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins, I'm going to ask you a couple of rapid-fire questions first. What words come to mind when you think of the word extrovert?
Extrovert, bold, audacious, risky, adventurous, colorful.
An introvert?
Introvert, thinker, observer, listener, coalescer. I would say equally as colorful, just maybe more pastel.
Okay, thank you. And are you yourself an extrovert, introvert, or perhaps ambivert?
I think I'm an introvert. I'm sure that many people would say I'm an extrovert by being in politics, but I call myself an introvert.
And what is your definition of introversion?
So my definition of an introvert is someone that gets re-energized by being alone. I know lots of people, extroverts love being around people. Not to say that I don't, but I don't get energy from being around other people. I get energy by being still and being quiet and being in my own space.
Thank you. And what does diversity of thought mean to you?
Diversity of thought it's kind of like going to a cafeteria. You have all sorts of different dishes you can put on your plate, and you want to have lots of options. Diversity of thought is allowing for space to take root, allowing for conversation to be different, allowing people to articulate alternate points of view and shift perspectives. That to me is diversity of thought, but it's not solely by being alone. Diversity of thought is in community.
Thank you. Do you think that introverts can make good political leaders, and do you think that they struggle in any way compared to extroverts?
Introverts have made great political leaders. Some of our forefathers are classically known to be introverts. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Abraham Lincoln, Woodrow Wilson. Introverts I find from a leadership style usually are quieter. They are a little more reserved, but it's because they're looking at the whole picture, not just the current spark, and reacting to that. I think that introverts make great leaders. Extroverts also, you have to bring people to vote for you in politics, and extroverts certainly have that bravado. However, I think that each can be equally successful in challenging times.
Thank you. And on the topic of leaders, what traits do you think leaders, both in the political and just all around in the world, is necessary?
Traits for a leader. Being a listener. In politics, seems non-existent today, but you have to listen to your constituents. You also have to listen to your peers, i.e. your fellow legislators. Being able to understand what the real problem, the root problem is people are facing today. That's an imperative skill that every leader needs to have. Leader also needs to be articulate, be able to be concise and detailed and specific enough that it can bring people, that your position, your issue can bring people with you. And lastly, I would say a leader has to be inspiring. You want to follow somebody that you feel truly represents you, someone that invites you to the journey on the political spectrum. That's what a great leader should do.
And in Americans for Prosperity, are there any tools that you use specifically to bring introverts into a conversation, or just different personality types in general?
Well, within Americans for Prosperity, we really look to hire for unique talents. We look to hire for diverse backgrounds. And not everyone has to be like a flashbang, right? Not everyone has to be this big, loud personality in order to be impactful. And it's for us, it's how you invite someone in to have a conversation with you that allows for a door to be open and for anyone to walk through. And so it's really more about how you hire and look for great talent, and you can tease that out. And we have a very long and robust interview process where we have probably 8 people interview a single candidate. But that's because we're all looking for a certain attribute, and if you're going to fit within our culture and that you feel comfortable challenging, accepting, initiating conversation, and welcoming people into what we're trying to achieve.
Thank you. And thank you for your time and perspective, Ms. Collins.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.